Hey everybody, welcome back to Safe Fitness Training. First of all, I have to apologize for taking so long between videos. At one point I was working 12, 13 hours a couple weeks ago, and that is over for me. It's just not feasible with the businesses that I am running on the weekends during the day to be working any more than that at this job. And so, this is a labor of love, just me making these videos to talk about these things and bring the perfect workout to you and high intensity training, just to let everybody know about what we've been doing in this industry for a really long time. This couldn't come at a more fun time, because today I'm talking about the different tools that we can use when we're using high intensity training. It was very cool. The company that I train for, The Perfect Workout, I always talk about, they're making a changeover to their own branded fast fit machines. And this is the best technology in the industry. If you're familiar with the ARX company, adaptive resistance exercise machines, that is what we're using, but branded specifically just for our company. These are being called the fast fit machines at The Perfect Workout. Hey, look, if you're looking for one-on-one strength training, there's a link down below for The Perfect Workout. I would love to have you come aboard. Tell them I sent you. I get a little bit of money for that, so of course I'd appreciate that. And of course you're going to get one-on-one strength training from the largest company in high-intensity training. So if I had to ask everyone here, what is the most important factor for muscle growth and health benefits during exercise? Those of you saying intensity of effort are absolutely right. You know, Mike Minter was spot on when he was talking about, and this was a video that I watched probably 5 times in my life that's been out there for years and years and years, but he's saying the most common mistake for people who lift weights, he's mostly talking to bodybuilders, but people who lift weights and want to improve their strength, the most common problem that he says is that when people do get the adaptive response, the muscle growth that they're looking for, then they'll just start doing more exercise. They'll add more volume, they'll add more repetitions, they'll add more exercises instead of upping their weights to add more intensity. And since intensity of effort is really the main thing that matters, they should be doing the opposite of what they really are doing. Of course, we've known this as far back as the 60s, when Dr. Elwood Heinemann discovered the size principle. Simply states that the largest motor units are recruited last. That shows that our last repetition is responsible for the largest amount of muscle fibers being recruited, so it's the most important. Getting to that highest intensity is what we are all looking for. So if I had to ask everybody here, what's the second factor that makes the biggest difference to muscle growth specifically? Of course, that's the environment of the organism. That is a lot of things. That encompasses, if you were thinking protein, if you were thinking sleep, stress, if you were thinking how much water you drink, your nutrition, all of those things play a role in the environment of the organism. All that means is, how's your body doing? Are you drinking booze every day? Because that will keep you from having those adaptive responses. You know, are you sleeping only 4 hours a night? That'll definitely keep you from having those adaptive responses. Are you eating horrible? All of this stuff matters. You need to be getting enough protein. All of those things matter very much. Of course, there's a whole lot more, but the other one we're going to be talking about today is the tool. This is the delivery mechanism for the stimulus, which is the workout. And you know, there's lots of tools that we could use. If we were living in the Roman Empire days, we'd probably just take big rocks and lift them above our head, put ourselves into positions, use body weight exercises, things of that nature. That, coincidentally enough, body weight exercises, if we use our own body weight, that's one tool. Of course, we have free weights that we could use. Analog weights, and when I say that, analog weights like that use gravity, like a Nautilus machine, a MedX machine, hammer strength, those are the 3 that would be preferable just simply because they are low friction. And there's one more machine, of course, that is not analog. This is fully digitalized, but it works off of motors, and it's the safest machine that you can utilize. And of course, that's going to be the ARX machine. So I'm just going to talk about some of the small differences between these, and I want you to understand that there isn't a whole lot of difference. We can inroad to a higher intensity when we're using ARX for certain, but when it comes down to it, if we were to use body weight exercises, we could probably still get to that full momentary muscular failure. It just would take a whole lot more time, and it would compromise our safety, or possibly compromise our safety. So what we're talking about here, there are some differences between body weight, free weights. Like I said, mostly time and efficiency. It actually takes a good amount of time for a newbie to learn a perfect squat. And then if we were to take a dumbbell in our hand, a really heavy one, or heck, something on our shoulders, and do a squat in that manner, then it becomes maybe a little bit more dangerous, but we're taking time away. We're making it more efficient. As we add more weight, we're actually making it a little bit more dangerous. Because of those two factors about the squat when it comes to body weight exercises, free weights, I, just like most high intensity strength training trainers, would absolutely prefer to get you first on a leg press. Doesn't matter whether it's a vertical press, as long as it's a leg press and you're situated well and it's made well, then we're going to have a little bit faster progress for sure. And it's going to be safer because it's going to help you stay in perfect form. It's not as difficult to learn the leg press, and so that's one of those things. It's going to be a little bit more efficient. We can add those weights a little bit faster because of that higher safety factor as well. So all of these come into play. And of course, when we're talking about ARX, this is a completely different experience. By using ARX technology, we can ensure that we're inroading to full momentary muscular failure on the eccentric. So there's this idea that when we are not able to pull on the concentric anymore, let's say I'm doing a preacher curl, and I simply just cannot pull any further, well, guess what? If someone was to assist me and pull up that bar, I could still hold that in the eccentric position, just resisting all the way down. I could probably add a whole good 20 seconds to the exercise if I could sustain that intensity just by the sheer burning, of course. I would still be able to hold that for a good amount of time. So we're stronger on the eccentric than we are on the concentric. Coincidentally enough, the eccentric is what is responsible for most of the hypertrophy. So that's the muscle growth phase of the workout itself. And so ARX fully lets us adapt to that and lets us hit failure, I mean, right at a minute, as efficient and as intense as, say, maybe a minute and a half under load on another machine. That's just the bottom line of it, because it's able to accentuate that negative. I hope that makes sense. If you do have any questions, I hope I have time to answer those. Feel free to drop them below or add a comment. Let me know about some other factors. What are some of the other differences that you have found between the tools that we use, whether it's body weight, free weights, machines? What machines have you been using? Love to hear about your routine. So all of that being said, you can get an incredible high-intensity strength training workout safely with any of the tools working as the stimulus. But some of them will be a little safer, some of them will take a little bit longer, and that's absolutely true. I do remember back during the COVID pandemic when we moved to full body weight exercises, I was not used to the back pain that I had been experiencing recently, and I jumped into a completely different workout. I bent over just a little bit too far into a squat, strained my back for a week and a half or so. It was a huge pain getting back into my workouts. So that's just one thing. Of course, I learned a lot from that experience. It didn't happen again, and I'm still able to use body weight exercises. I just know my limits now. So that learning curve is a little bit deeper on body weight exercises, but it is there. All this being said, in the coming year, I want you to know that I'm committed to helping as many of you as possible with getting the most out of your workouts and living a longer life. This is super important to me, and I feel like I've failed a little bit in helping the most amount of people that I can. So in the future, I definitely want to nip that in the bud. So my advice and my plead to you is, hey, please subscribe, because I'm going to have tons and tons of things coming up into the future that I hope will be valuable resources for you. And of course, for now, if you need someone to get started with one-on-one strength training here at The Perfect Workout, there's a link below. I do hope that you'll at least check it out and join us for living a longer life with the power of strength training. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.